And collegiate season is over. Here come the pros and the elites. So is the madness slowing down? Absolutely not. So neither will LLC, right? And then as some of you have communicated to some of the tiles, the quarters have been deposited and we're getting our first few revolutions of the carousel to happen. So, I mean, put your seatbelts on, pull down the lot bar and just hold on because we're coming up for the next drop. So if you don't know what you're doing, you are watching, listening to another fun episode of Athletics LLC. I mean, I wasn't coaching at nationals, but I have definitely taken a breath after. Hopefully you all have as well, a small breath at least. So let's see how everybody's doing. Governor, how are you tonight?
Pretty good, pretty good. Week after NCAA's, you can just tell everybody just went,
yeah.
And so tying up loose ends in the office, trying to make plans for the summer, watching this crazy portal explode.
Right.
We are entering a new era where just when we think, all right, this is a time for this, until July 12th, I mean.
Yep. I know. I literally am starting to slash
insanity.
the days.
This is equivalent to John Wick. Like you think you're gonna take a breath, and then it's like, here it comes. Here it comes. It is what it is. So here we are.
Clyde, how are you tonight, sir?
I am very happy to be back on the West Coast. And I am very, very happy to have gotten to be in the moment and live and suffer through the NCAA championships in Texas.
Specifically in Texas.
And I am very, very happy that I will not be returning to Texas for NCAAs for a very, very long time, if at all.
So you don't miss 90 degrees at 8 p.m. at night? You don't miss that?
No one misses that. No matter what
they want. The NCAA meet was in College Station in like 2 years.
No, regionals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Regionals.
That's funny.
I already got my reservations for Eugene next year. Can't wait.
Back to the palace.
And PSA, Valley River Inn is gone, you guys. It's not expected to open up, so you need to make that call now. If there's going to be limited rooms, no matter what.
It's too late for that.
I know, right? Literally, I know. That reminds me, I need to call the travel agent to make sure she actually finished ours. Sharks don't retire. How are you this evening, sir?
I am very good. I'm very good. The NCAA meet was invigorating.
It was.
I have been blessed enough to see a track meet where 3 world records were set, and I would tell you that Wednesday night might have been just as good.
Wednesday night or Thursday night?
Wednesday night, right?
Thursday
the first night was the men? No.
Yeah.
First night was
Wednesday.
I thought you were talking about the deck. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, the deck finished on Thursday night, but the nonsense that happened on Wednesday night was...
Oh, yes.
That was one of the greatest track nights, evenings, whatever I've ever seen.
That was fun. Sir Lucius, how are you this evening, sir?
I'm fatigued. But I am.
Oh wait, hold on. This is our shock base.
Doesn't he have to like stand up and bow or something?
No, he does not.
At this point, Sir Lucius, just reach out of the screen and just pull the trophy into the screen. That's all you have to do.
I don't travel with those. They get a little bit cumbersome. They're a little cumbersome. So I don't travel with those. So. Yeah.
That's what they should do. They should start making mini replica keychains. That's what it is. I'm going to figure that out. I have no clue, but I'm going to figure that out. And I'm going to get you a lot of them.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations.
Yes, that is amazing.
Thank you.
Bravo,
Thank
sir.
you very much, guys. Appreciate
it.
it.
In a very, not demanding, what's the word I'm thinking of? I don't know if dominant, but dominant executions took place. And they were very punch you in the face performances, I feel. Not necessarily fast, not necessarily far, anything like that, but punch you in the face.
Well, look, before we get into all of that, can we get the scores? Can we get the scores?
I mean, listen, nobody should be surprised by this.
How many text messages I got?
He only wants the scores because he knows that he won.
Wait a minute.
I promise
you, I have no idea if I won or not.
As far as
this is the fake surprise face, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
This is the I did? You mean really?
I'm not joking. Did I actually win?
Yes.
Yes. It was on the internet, sir.
Yes.
On one side, yes. On the other side,
I did. I even tagged you and everything.
Oh, girl, I ain't been on Twitter today. I'm sorry.
It was on Sunday.
I was gonna say it's like half a week ago.
So official numbers.
Yeah, give us the scores for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Official numbers on the men's side. Clyde had 8 whopping points for the win.
Tore it up.
Sharks Don't Retire had 3. Governor had 3. I had a whopping goose egg. I'm getting better. I'm just kidding. That was horrible. But even through, okay, obviously, I if you don't know, the tiles, because everybody obviously got the subscription or the email notification. I posted the show what would be Friday morning, 9 a.m. Central. So respectively 7, 9, 10. That way people had time to watch it before the meet started. So some people did. I actually got text messages and we got messages on the show saying that they watched it before the first day of finals. And immediately simultaneous text in sync with the show was, oh, well, there goes the 4 hurdles. And I was like, dang.
Hey, the 400 hurdles was a bloodbath.
Oh my gosh.
I honestly feel like the 400 hurdles is what convinced me that I was last.
So,
well, when I watched 2 of my 3 not make the final in the same heat, I was like, yeah, well, we're done.
Effectively, this little charade of yours, Sir Lucius, has turned us into individual bad beats people.
Everybody's
going crazy.
I'm extremely proud of myself because I stumped you guys royally. So, yeah. Very
oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
For me to score our picks, I've never scored so quickly in my life.
Oh man.
I was like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 3.
Oh, wait a minute.
0, 0, 0, 0,
wait a minute, hold on. We're interrupting the recording here. I just now saw the speak.
Yes.
Please let the man bathe in his glory. Okay. Let's hear it.
So on the women's side, Clyde dominated, I'll give you that, with 19 whole points.
Yeah.
Whoa.
19.
Hey, I like that number. That's a great number.
The governor and I tied with 8, which, I mean, that won the men's side. So that's a good pick.
Sliding scale.
Right?
Sliding
exactly.
Scale.
Perspective.
Right. Yeah.
And then the Sharks Don't Retire had 5.
Listen, I'm not a sexist at all, but it is pretty obvious I don't know a damn thing about women's track because this is 2 years in a row that I have just fallen off the face of the earth when it comes to picking them. I think I know what I'm doing, but clearly I don't.
So wait, am I to understand that I won the men, dominated the women, scored a total of 27?
Yes.
Yes.
And the 3 of you combined didn't score 27.
That is correct.
Do I have that right?
27 total.
Exactly 27.
We 27 total, yeah.
Hey, I'll take it. as we do.
Oh
gosh.
I will.
Wait, so
take it.
I'm gonna do this real quick. Where is it? So I'm sharing my screen with you all.
Oh man!
In regards to what it is, right?
Oh yeah, this is even better.
Look at how fast I scored the me.
None of us scored in the 8.
Nothing.
Wow.
Not one. So disregard.
Well, because we all picked the wrong guy to win.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
We all had Sumner second.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And then so these are this is my format, so ignore all that.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't delete it. And then for the women's side.
Man.
Yeah. Look at that 15. Look at that 1500 race.
Brutal.
Hey, we gonna get into all of that. Track is back. I'm upset that I lost some of these points here.
I mean, yeah.
Oh
sure.
man. So that's what it looks like. It's tough in these streets.
Well,
I feel like we need to get like a chain. You know, like how they have in fantasy football.
King Petty, boy, King Petty.
Well, before we do a totally deep dive into the NCAA championships, Clyde pointed out that we totally overlooked something last week, and that was the absolutely fantastic 1500 meter world record by Sally. I mean, like, we apologize, and so because we were disrespectful, she decided I'll go out and break the 5,000 meter record this week.
So, Linda.
Faith was like, listen, if y'all need
to
pay attention.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Saida Weeda.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, stop it. Oh my gosh, look at this man. Somebody get the man's.
Lord.
Get your man's.
You should change his name to Prince Hakeem. Prince Hakeem. Coming to America.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, I mean, it's Diamond League season. So there's so many things that are happening off. I say off schedule because we're used to American meets or prominent meets being like the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But they're just popping off. And like, for me, we're at track camp right now, so I'm oblivious to the outside world. But like Twitter's telling me these things, and I'm like, what day is it? How did that happen? When did that happen? What? Is this a repeat?
All I can tell you about Faith Kipyegon. If you haven't seen those videos, you have to watch them.
Yes.
Because world record is a world record, but the way she did those, especially the 5,000.
The 5 was the best because she surprised herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
absolutely. You could see it.
Like so Faith was crossing the finish line, right? And basically like doing one of these, like, yeah, I won. And then she looked at the clock and was like, like, wait, no, hold on, time out. That's too fast. Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen anything like that.
It's like she didn't get the memo that the young lady that she was shadowing the entire race is number 1 in the world. Like, I mean, it was
more like her world record she took.
Yes.
Right.
Like that's I mean, that's gotta be the worst feeling on the planet when you know this feeling because you've run this fast. Yes. And there's somebody right behind you who you know for sure is faster than you.
And you could tell she tried to shake her. And when she realized that she couldn't and 2 laps to go,
she destroyed her.
It's a wrap.
No, that woman is incredible. She was already, without the world records, for my money, Faith was already the GOAT of the 1500. But if there was any doubt, it's over now.
Man.
I mean, yeah. First woman under 350?
Right.
Unbelievable.
So let's talk about this NCAA meet.
Right. Men or women first?
Let's talk about them in the order that they were run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The men's 4x1.
You can't even hold it in, can you?
No, just because listen, can I take a point of petty privilege?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you're going to, so go right ahead.
Unintelligent people. There has been no change to the extension of the relay zones.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a thing. Stop talking about it that way. All they did was allow you to pass the baton in the first 10 meters, which used to be the acceleration zone.
Right.
And for the record, not one team on the track did that. It's not a thing. So stop pretending like that rule change is the reason that we're seeing all these times. That is dumb.
Yep.
Anyway, when 3870 can't make the final, we are in a new era of 4x1 running.
Absolutely. I mean, Sir Lucius, I mean, give us your take. I mean, what did you see?
Well, I mean, I think that clearly Texas Tech was on a mission, and you know, it's absolutely sad that they got DQ'd. It really is. But they stretched through the zones to the end, and that's why they did what they did. You know, I think they executed both us and LSU. LSU had it. Both LSU and us had not. LSU's second to third was poor. Ours was awful, and you know they executed at a high level, and nobody's running Terrence Jones down. Let's just be real, you know.
Right.
And so you know, unfortunately, they had a mishap during the first exchange, and you know, it didn't count. But when you're watching the preliminaries, and you're just like, wow. It was just phenomenal. The whole deal was just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was.
Where is everybody on the DQ of Texas Tech? Because there are photos floating around the internet that would potentially suggest that the pass was made in the zone.
Yeah, I no one can figure out like if they saw the video and the picture that was everybody's put out there.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, it's a still picture. And in the still picture, it looks clearly like the guy's out of the zone, but the baton, which is the rule, is still in the zone. This is not me, so I'll start putting this, don't make me a meme and start bad-mouthing people. But it's been said to me that the guy from Texas Tech was running on the line. And maybe that's what they call it. They just put the wrong rule in there.
Well,
I don't know if that's true or not. So y'all go look at the video, and if it's not true, I'm just telling you what was said to me.
So you're at the mercy of the camera angle, number one.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. You are, I mean, and it's obvious that they did go back and look at the video, right? So if we're all seeing the same thing and they make this rule, then, you know, I almost feel like it's not even from an emotional standpoint, and we've seen follow-up posts with pictures at different angles and all of that. You're at the mercy of what they're seeing. And that's
and here's my issue, Governor, right? Okay, so obviously we had a very similar but more obvious situation, egregious situation 2 weeks before, right? Yeah. And I'm not sure when we don't adopt the attitude of the NFL, in that unless there's indisputable video evidence to the contrary of what was called, then the call stands.
Exactly.
Because clearly, if you look at that video, okay, so in my opinion, in both of those instances, the video shows that from the 2 weeks ago shows that it was the right call. From this week is very iffy.
It's very iffy.
So maybe and maybe they didn't have that same angle that we all saw.
Right.
So then they couldn't overturn it. Right.
Well, I mean, that's a very interesting point. And honestly, let's be real. How many appeals in this sport do you ever see? One. I think track has adopted that rule forever, right? In some cases, I think there's just no transparency in our process, right?
Right. Bring me your $50 or $100 or whatever it is, and we'll
pay your money and trust us. We looked at it. But I mean, the picture that's floating around about the men's 4x1 is not the official video.
Right.
Exactly. And
the official video was shot at a horrible angle, head on, and it looks like the dude's 5 meters out the zone.
Exactly.
So, you know, nothing to be done there.
So in that case, there's no, and again, the same thing with the video from 2 weeks ago. The video that everybody's seeing is not the official video either.
Yeah.
So we don't know what that, but I don't know how in the world. Don't care what video
I don't care what. I don't care what piece of tape you have on that one.
Like as
you're moving
my
into
mother,
a whole other line.
As my mother loved to say, Stevie Wonder can see that was that.
I mean, yes.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, I think that the men's 4x1 was kind of the thing that broke the cap on the whole meet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it was just one event after another. I mean, the semifinals of the men's 100, right? So 10:04 can't make the final. And we've been to these meets before where 10:0 doesn't make the final, but they're all win-dated. These were all legal, right? And so you're watching that. I mean, we're in a group text, and the meets, this event, that event. I put in the group text, this 100's about to be crazy, right?
And
it was an understatement, right?
Let's be clear. 10:04, 10:06, 10:07, 10:07, and 10:09 did not make the final. It's not like it was one dude. It was all
right. Exactly.
Well, this has got to be the only track meet I've ever seen where not one, but two people dropped their PBs from 10:0 to 9:8 in the same meet.
Yes.
Right, and not racing each other, right? So it wasn't like one crazy fast race. It happened twice.
Yeah.
And that's just phenomenal. Like, that's phenomenal coaching. That's phenomenal poise by the athlete standpoint. Because at the end of the day, we all know when you start running faster than you've ever run before, it's hard not to fall apart.
Yeah.
Nerdy fun fact. Who's the school record holder at the University of Florida in 100 meters? It's
PJ Austin.
PJ Austin.
The funny part is how many people would have got it wrong before that. Like, that was my fun fact, right? Okay, so PJ is the school record holder. Whose record did he break?
Now, because I know, I'm not going to answer.
I don't know because there are too many that are in my head.
I'll say this: all the ones that you have in your head, I bet you money they're all wrong.
You got to give us
take the time. Just take a second. Just give them the first two. Just give us the first two that come to your mind.
Yeah, first two that come to mind.
I mean, golly.
Don't overthink it.
Demps comes to mind.
Nope.
Not even. I don't know if he's in the top 5.
I was gonna say I don't think Demps is in the top 5.
I don't.
Man.
Raymond Ekewu.
Raymond Ekewu.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Well.
Yep.
Excuse me for being a Florida romanticist. Yeah, that I'm thinking.
That's all right. It was fun while it lasted, Raymond.
Wow.
But I mean, like, I don't think anybody outside of nope, not even in Lubbock. I don't think anyone in the country, including in Lubbock, except Courtney Lindsay, would have been picking Courtney Lindsay to win that race.
Calvin, no, because Calvin might have been picking him because he'd been beating Terrence in the last month. So Calvin might have picked him. His coach might have.
Sure. But I mean, like the favorite or one of them isn't even in the final, right?
Right.
The 100 was nuts.
Think about it like this. Okay, so I think it took 1340 something to make the high hurdle final, right? And then the 400 rolls along, and it takes 45-1 to make the 400 final, right? And then the 200 comes along, and like 19.9 is like the 4th or 5th fastest time.
Yes.
And then the 4x4, I'm watching the 4x4s, right? So watch the first 2 heats. It gets to the second leg on our heat. I'm like, they're going to make us run 258 in the semi. right? It just never stopped.
No.
So,
At
can
all.
we talk about the 400 for a second? Even though, you know, these are your people. If you told me before the meet started that the 400 final was going to be 3 dudes from Arizona State versus 3 dudes from Florida, and the
And then
winner
2 Klingons.
and the winner was not going to be Ryan Willie, I'd have lost all my money.
Yeah.
Like, so, sir, these are your people. You went 1-2. What did we look at?
I mean, I would love to know what the inner Sir Lucius was feeling when those 2 crossed the line.
Baby.
He knew the meet.
Yeah, baby.
He knew the meet was over. That's what he thought.
Hey, look, with 50 to go, I was like, Gators 1-2, baby. Gators 1-2. I mean, so, you know, it's you know, we've had these, you know, we've been blessed to have, you know, 3 people's in finals before. And so my speech is always, okay, which 2 of you are okay with running fast and not winning the race? Because all 3 of you can't win. Now, I want all 3 of you to run the win. But 2 of you have to be okay with running 44 in the middle or better and not winning the race. Yep. And not one of them flinched. Not one of them flinched. And when I looked at Bama Deli and I said to him, run to win the race.
Yep.
He just said, yes, coach. And when they got to 250, I said to Mike, Ryan's too far back. Not sure what he was thinking. Well, here's the thing. In Ryan's defense, Ryan fell off a scooter Wednesday morning. So his knee was banged up. He had a chipped tooth. He might even have a concussion. So he was a little bit off, you know, and it actually showed in the 4x1 as well, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, for us to have 2 guys run 44-2 and go 1 to the NCAA championships was a big run. Very proud of both of them. Very proud of Javon Powell for you know, he kind of messed his race model. I probably got him a little bit too crunk. He went out a little bit too fast. But you know, at the end of the day, I mean, it was a great feeling. I mean, you know, because I said with 50 to go, I got really excited because I knew Ryan was coming and I knew they weren't going to run Vandy down. So, but great race.
So you know, us ridiculous statistician types, you know, Governor and I, we need housekeeping. What is currently 10th on the University of Florida men's outdoor 400 list?
Probably 45 flat, maybe.
I'm sorry. No chance.
I feel like he's asking if he's looking at it right now.
So is it Javon Powell?
Right, no, I don't think that makes the list.
His 45.0 is not fast enough?
I think, Chu, you might have to help me because I can't. Sometimes my phone won't let me do this. You have to look because my phone won't let me do it.
Because I'll let while this is being drummed up, I will say this. Myself and Brian Wellman, another ridiculous statistician type, we had this conversation / debate as to what was the hardest all-time list to get on, whether it was Arkansas's men's triple jump, which for the record is 1695. That's 10th.
That's insane.
Which is insane, right? Or Florida's men's 400. And I mean, I think we might even have to go like to the European, the point totals. Because I don't know any other way to figure that out. Like what mark is better, 45 flat or 1695?
Okay, Chu, I found it.
Okay.
So, you're right. There's a tie between Javon Powell and Geno White at 45.02.
Wow.
45.02 is 10th and 11th.
Wow, I had no idea. I really didn't.
Insane.
I just want you to imagine you go to a school, you run 45.20 and nobody knows you were ever there.
Mm-hmm.
Give him the that's cute.
And the triple jump system, I mean, the Arkansas men's triple jump is the same. I mean, 1695 is really far.
That is really far.
You jump 1693. Nobody knows you went to Arkansas. They're like, oh, that's nice.
1692 is 55.6. Wouldn't make the list.
Wouldn't make the
Correct.
list.
Correct.
So I mean,
there's a guy on that.
So let's go back to
17 meters that never won a meet.
Okay, so think about it like this. Robert Gregory runs 1989. He's fourth in the 200, right?
Fourth. 1989
Texas,
he was fourth.
Texas Tech had two guys run 1987. So this was Tech's meet. They run 37.93 and get DQ'd, right? They run 989, 10 something. They don't make the final, and then two guys at 1987.
Insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, and if you watch the relay, the guy that makes the relay is the guy, the little kid on the leadoff leg.
Yeah.
That guy made the relay because he was on a mission.
Yes, he was.
So, I'm basically giving a shout out to Calvin here, and also look, Deion Miller. I mean, come on.
Unbelievable.
Right. I mean, come on. Right. I don't think there's anybody that saw them scoring 41 points in the team. So, kudos to him for that. 3 guys in the 400 final, 257, 38-6 in the 4x1.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that either.
Yep.
That they had a great meet. They had an incredible.
How do you run 257 and lose?
Right, because the question really would have been before the meet, right? Was like how you run 257 in college.
Sure.
So you certainly are not going to run 257 in college and lose.
Right. And I mean that.
How do you go to the NCAA meet and run 10:04 and 1987 and score a total of 5 points?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Again, you got a big shout out to Udodi out of Stanford for his win in the 200. His 1976 was very nice in the semi, but the poise he showed in the last 30 meters of the final was special.
Because they were there. They were all there.
Everybody was there. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's and I mean, let's be real. Poise across the board, because I think everybody pretty much feels, I know he feels, that he shouldn't have finished as low as he did in the 100.
Mm-hmm.
So to bounce back from that and win that 200 race is a lot.
And while we're on Stanford, what they score 44 points?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Stanford walked out with a
I was gonna say 5. Yeah.
5 guys. 5 people, 44 points. If you look at the team picture, there's the coaches and 5. There's more. This is as many coaches as there are athletes out there.
Well, they do what Stanford does in the 10K. They went 1-2, and then Doty out there, like it was a very.
I think the guy won the 5K as well, right?
Yeah, scored the 5, wins the 5. Like they had a great meet. Stanford and Arizona State, from a team perspective, were probably the surprises of the meet.
They made the Pac-12 very, very, very respectful.
Yes.
Yeah.
4 hurdles. Who saw Alabama getting 1-2? I did not see that happen.
Like even going to the final, I don't think
the hurdle was a disaster.
Right? It was and so it started in the semi, and I'm not trying to be anything but serious here. Like nobody saw Aiden Owens not making the final.
Oh my gosh!
Nobody on the planet.
You would have won every penny I've ever seen in my entire life. If you had offered me that bet, I would have bet you every money,
even with 3 hurdles to go. I'm like, oh, he's gonna run.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. No chance.
He was defeated coming out of 120.
And then
we were sitting on the back stretch, and so we saw the hurdle that got hit outside of him and basically flipped over his shoulder, right? And it was weird because you don't have this maneuver in the middle of a hurdle race. As weird as that was, there's no way you could have told me that was going to produce what it produced, right? Like you
don't think it threw him off that much?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it did. Is all I'm saying is when it happened, there's no way I thought, oh, he's gonna pay like that on the back, on the home stretch.
Yeah, it just shouldn't. Like,
I don't know exactly what happened, but he was just off, because even if you watched him in his 4x4, 2 nights later, he wasn't the same.
So what I was gonna say is when he comes through and he gives the exchange or gets the exchange, he literally puts his head in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, I've never seen, and God, I don't follow him like that. But I mean, I've been able to watch him compete a little bit closer at this point for the last 2 years. And I'm like, I've never seen body language like that from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing was, so once he's out, now you think Caleb Dean, right?
Exactly.
And
Right.
then,
In a walk.
Then I was
think Caleb Dean in a walk.
Then all of a sudden at the 600, it was like, that's not happening. You know, and you just got to give Alabama credit for stepping up and going 1-2. And one of the bigger performances of the meet for me was, Turner Washington. He put up 18 points.
Yeah.
He gets second in the shot put, and the poise to, the EP knows him better than all of us. And the EP reminded me he's thrown 70 meters before. So when he steps in the ring on his final throw at 65 meters is leading, it's not new territory for him. So he just steps in the ring and throws a bomb at 66 meters and here, I'm the NCAA champion. So what a phenomenal performance by him as well.
Does he get a ring?
No.
I mean, those 2 points were helpful.
We'd have still won by 3. So
see, look, you could have just smiled and kept it moving, man.
No, look. I mean, close. Obviously, in the moment, it was very exciting because I'm kind of oblivious to stuff sometimes, and so my DOPS is like Turner Washington just helped us. I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, he beat the Arkansas Gatos last throw. I'm like, oh, okay. I really didn't have any idea. Yeah. Of course, and Adrian Melendez is paying attention, right? So,
of course.
I want to say this really quick. Okay, I'm not saying that it's okay to run around with your shirt off, okay? But I am saying this. If you watch that competition and you know the history of the competition from the day before, right? He got beat on the very last throw in the shot put by 2 centimeters, and there was dudes chirping and all that stuff, right? For him to come back and steal a title on the very last throw and basically run over to the group of people who were chirping him and takes his shirt off. And again, he's not fighting anybody. He's just showing emotion. The fact that the first thought that so many people had was that he should be DQ'd, like, shame on all of us, right? Like, the world, like, we can't be that soft of a world.
But it's stemming from the DQs that have happened over the last month.
I know. That's why I said shame on all of us. Like, at some point in time, we have to have some common sense.
Tell him, Kai.
Kai's not here for the DQ.
Exactly.
I mean, why wouldn't you want that?
Right.
It's exciting.
Right. In an event where, let's be real, they never get the respect or the attention they deserve. And even on that day, probably weren't getting it. Everybody was like, wait, what's Turner doing? That's what you want.
Yeah,
and
a lot of excitement behind that, and I didn't realize, like, obviously oblivious to stuff. I didn't realize I was going on either. But so, with all the things that happened in the meet, the most impressive thing I saw in the men's meet was the men's 800.
Yeah.
Young man went out in 53 and came back in 51.
Yep.
He
sure did.
And wire-to-wire lead and just destroyed him the second lap.
Totally controlled that field, blew him away. And for him,
the word that comes to my mind is, very stoic. And he just said, if you're gonna beat me, you're gonna have to run 145 today.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sure that would have been fast enough.
It wasn't, because he ran 144 too. So
yeah.
Like he was a grown man. Incredible performance for a freshman in college. And that was, honestly, that was the most impressive thing I saw all weekend. It was.
No, I wouldn't disagree with that. I found out in real time, because it was so impressive. Everybody scrambling on their phones.
Mm-hmm.
The announcer said that was the second fastest 800-meter run at the NCAA of all time. And then, so you're sitting there thinking, well, what's the record? Record's a second faster.
Yeah.
It's 143.2 by Serrani at UTEP from when it was at 2018. So, like, just put that in perspective, because that's
what we had to deal with at the conference meet.
Wait a minute, I thought what's his name from A&M had the meet record.
The meet record, yes. Brazier had the meet record.
Yes.
Has the meet record at 140.
So you said the collegiate record.
Collegiate record.
Collegiate
so
record.
The announcer was wrong, was my point, because he said that in real time. There's no way that gap.
So maybe he meant that's the second fastest time ever run at that meet. Maybe
at the meet.
Right. Maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm not being a homer. I'm really not.
Yes, you are.
I was like,
no, I'm not. Listen, the score is insane. Let's be clear. I think it may now be the hardest collegiate record on the men's side to break. But what was most impressive to me about what Leo Neugebauer did is he came into the meet 300 points behind in PBs to Kyle Garland.
Mm-hmm.
And he was holistically unfazed by that gap altogether. And he took it straight at Kyle. And when Kyle mounted challenges, because let's be clear, Kyle scored 8,600 points at the meet.
Yep.
Right? Like that's Kyle's second best mark ever. So it's not like he laid down, but Leo took it to him from the beginning till the end.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We were laughing.
What's very impressive to me is the fact that you can pronounce his last name. That's very impressive.
Hey, listen, I think you guys expected that out of me, right?
You and the governor, yes, absolutely.
When he PB'd the second time in the pole vault, somebody asked me, I don't know why, what's Leo's PB in the javelin? I said, it doesn't matter. They're like, why you say that? I said, because he's going to break it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, how can you say that? You haven't seen him throw. I said, bro, have you been watching the meet?
Yeah.
Listen, everybody who's ever run a 400 knows that if you PB by 1.5 seconds, you went to a whole nother planet. Like you're a different person.
Yep.
Right. So if we just start right there, forget all the other things that he had already done. If you PB by 1.5 seconds in the 400, and then you come out and run your second fastest hurdle race ever, like you're on something new and improved, and it's going to take a world-beating situation to beat you. Mm-hmm. So let's be clear. He broke the German national record of Jürgen Hingston's that was set during the drug era and with the old javelin.
Yeah,
we clear? That's insanity. That's just absolutely insane. So look, I was super duper impressed by a lot of things. I kept saying 989 for like 4 hours because I couldn't believe PJ Austin ran 989 in the prelims. Mm-hmm. Right? So like the whole meet in and of itself, like I never even wanted to do like this was better than that. The men's meet, because we're just talking about the men's meet was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life.
And before we move on to the women, I have to say this because I don't think this is going to last very long. Everybody needs to appreciate Jaden Hibbert while he's here.
Is he still here?
He's not going to be here very long.
He's not going to be here very long.
There's a good chance he's gone already. So.
No, yeah. Right. So if you didn't cherish this year, you wasted a lot of time, because that child, and I say that respectfully because he is a child, had the whole West grandstand in the palm of his hand.
Yes.
Just totally locked in and waiting for him to do whatever the hell he felt like he was going to do. And I mean, obviously dominated the field, but that dude's different, man. Like, he's just different. Kind of like you.
I hope that NCAA fans, like, you get so caught up sometimes in so many crazy things that happen that you just expect these things that you don't take into account what you're looking at. Like, the NCAA meet has now become like world-class track and field.
The way I would describe it, it is now the de facto world U23 meet.
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
That is essentially what it is. And
that's fair.
And when we see these numbers being put up over and over and over again, we have to just stop being surprised anymore and just accept it for what it is. And obviously, when everybody goes back to the drawing board and starts looking at recruiting standards and what it is that we're looking for, whatever. Oh my goodness. Like, you know,
I mean, things that used to be fast and far, right? 10
exactly.
flat, 10 flat, 20, 20, 70 meters in the discus or the javelin,
yes.
right? Like these things used to 5 meters, 50 in the pole vault. Like these things used to be impressive.
Yep.
They're literally everyday things now.
The margins are getting so much slimmer now. Like it's
13.5 used to be faster than men's hurdles. Now we expect the decathlete that runs the fastest to run 13.5, and we're right.
You know what?
So it's just gotten like that.
The governor phrasing it that way is it's a very interesting thing, because we're all pissed off at the way that the World Athletics scores the NCAA championship. You know what? That's the perfect way to score it. It should be put on the exact same level as the U23s.
Absolutely.
As World U23s. That would be fair.
That would be
It's still better than that. It's still better than any Diamond League meet. But at least can we get that?
Yeah. So let's talk about the ladies now.
I was just going to say, we got to go to the women because there's when everybody's ready just to spurt out.
Texas. And we're done.
And
I'm sorry,
drops the mic.
Okay, look, let me tell you something. Right. Yeah. What Edric did in the women's sprints was phenomenal. I mean, it was just phenomenal. That's all you can call it. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, 41.5, 10.7, 10.9, 21.7, 22 flat, 22.1, 49.20. Okay.
So what's funny is, what country are you talking about?
They weren't about to drop 322 if they don't get DQ. Don't kid yourselves.
Right? Like when you list off those marks, it sounds like you're talking about a country's performance.
Absolutely. Right. You know, and then there's 47 feet in the triple jump, 22.8 in the long jump. You know, young lady didn't run well in the final, but she's 2 flat in the semifinal in the 800. You know, like that was just an incredible performance. Big PB by the female multi, right?
Yeah,
she's the young lady that struggled at nationals in the past.
Right?
She got third, yes. She came up big and got the bronze there. You know.
Yes, and anybody that is a part of the Texas fraternity that has watched Texas in the past and all of that, the pressure is different. Okay, so one of the things that isn't really talked about as much is you have to be a certain type of individual, and I don't care who you are. You have to be a certain type of individual to survive Austin. And people might be go, oh, what do you mean by that? Well, you have downtown Austin almost within walking distance from the campus. You have all the distractions you can possibly ask for right over there, okay? The city of Austin is vibrant and as big and as, you know, there are tons of things that can completely derail you. So again, kudos to the staff, kudos to Edric, to keeping everybody like this, because when those heat sheets came out, and I'm sure Sir Lucius, when you saw that, and there were 4 lined up together, that's another level of pressure. That's saying, I need 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? How many times have we seen that completely blow up?
Yes.
And so, you know, things like that, like when things like that happen in the prelims, you're going, uh-oh, here we go.
Yeah.
You know, kudos.
When they opened up at 41.55.
Yes.
And you're like, it's on.
Now, here's another thing. And my wife and I are sitting in the stands and we're watching the 4x1. If you go back and look, I literally think, now don't quote me on this, I literally think it was 7 to 8 steps hand back go. There was no stretching the zone. There wasn't. No.
He and I talked about that.
Okay.
He goes, we're here to win the race. He said, I'm not trying to run any faster. He told me, we talked about that on Friday. We talked about it on Friday, yeah.
So I rest my case.
So no, honestly, of all the things that Texas accomplished, for me, the 4x1 was actually the most impressive. And I'll say this, as I have said about the women's world record for years, that mark is safe. Don't talk about it. It's not going to happen. It's going to be there for an extremely long time.
Extremely long time.
Like, I'm going to say this to you. I promise you, it's not going to be there as long as you think.
I hear you.
Because I'm going to tell you why. Because see, you know, again, I'm the old guy. I'm the history guy, right? Because now they've shown people that it can be done.
Well, okay, great. And you know what? Someone at the meet said that exact same thing. And I'm here for that. I'm here for you broke the barrier so people now know it's possible, but here's the same problem that you have. What's not duplicable, if that's even a word, is Julian Alfred on first. Because if you move her anywhere else, it ain't as
See, I'm not gonna do that with you because it's gonna go somewhere else. But I'm gonna tell you this, okay? The first leg of the relay does not run the whole daggum way.
Of course not.
Okay, but hold on, I'm saying. So maybe you can't duplicate Julian on leadoff, but then you can be better than every place else. That's
right.
possible.
But how and this will play out over the years. How much better can you be than Abel was or Ndeleke was?
Well, here's the thing. We're gonna find out because see, I'm gonna tell you like this. I know my brethren out there. It's just like this, okay? For years, 259 was fast.
Yep. Sure.
For years, 5 teams ran 259 or faster because we ran 258 last year.
Sure. I'm here for all of that. It's not.
I still want to say here on planet Earth, 259 is still fast. No, it's not. Just so we're clear. It's fast, sir. Yes, it is.
Well,
yes, it is.
See what you did. You see what you did there, Clyde?
So
you see what you did
fast.
there?
This is how I've
man.
digested it. 259 is fast, but it's not impressive anymore.
Yes,
not fast. And then
now that I'll agree with.
Okay, so then do we agree that three flat ain't fast no more? Because 3 flat didn't get in.
Yeah. Listen, I want to say this out loud.
I've been saying that for years, and it's been accused of it being a first world problem.
I bet someone.
It is that.
I want to say this out loud on the show. I bet someone, not a collegiate coach, so there was no violations. I bet someone before the men's 4x4 that there would be no 302s make the meet, right, and make the final. And that person foolishly took the bet. That was for an appetizer. And I said, I don't think the little Qs are going to be 301s.
Oh, boy.
Let's just put it this way. I got the appetizer and dinner.
And before we go to the women, I need, and I'm sure Clyde.
Well, we were already on the women. I don't know why we back on this, but
yeah. I mean, shout out to Alabama State. Please, let's just give them their roses. That was unbelievable.
Maury Turner, number 5 in the nation, baby. In 2019, you know, when I was working for Richie at Alabama State, we came here. We didn't have a relay here. We had one athlete, Jamie Brown, in the long jump, and he finished 6th. And that was amazing. But the group finishing 5th.
Yeah.
In that fire of a competition. Yes. For them to run 38.5 to make the final.
Yeah, man.
Hey, those 4 gentlemen should be in the Alabama State Hall of Fame, just like Richie Bean belongs in the Alphabet Crew Hall of
Fame. All right, ladies.
So back to the women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking about the 4x1.
Jasmine Moore.
So my thing. Here's my thing with Jasmine Moore. You know, and like I'm kind of like I'm disappointed in the track and fly.
He's in Florida, folks. He's in Florida. It's okay. Exactly. He's in Florida.
Yeah,
but it was seamless. There was no disruption.
Yeah. So like I'm disappointed in in the EP, and I talked about this a little bit, I think yesterday and today, in the number of people that think that because people are really good that they don't have bad days, right?
Yes.
Right. The number of people that think that people are really good, that they can't ever lose, right? Jasmine Moore lost her first conference national championship in seems like forever. And oh my God, the world's coming to an end. She had a bad day. So let me let you inside, as George Williams says, let me let you inside the huddle so you know the play, right? Jasmine Moore had a very severe ankle sprain, which is why her outdoor season has been, up and down. And as for those of us on the screen, especially the governor who have had, who was a jumper, the long jump is a much harder event to take apart in if you have a bad ankle.
Absolutely.
Hence the not so hot performance. But also, I thank all of you for poking the bear that is Jasmine Moore, because when she walked into the camp on Saturday, I'm like, they got no shot. And she was tired of hearing the nonsense as well. So, also we love Jasmine and we're so proud of her, and but hey, she's the best girl out there. She went out there as the best girl out there. That was a great performance. But you have to say again.
Will she leave Florida as the most decorated female athlete ever?
Yeah.
I can't imagine she's not.
I mean,
I have to do a little research on that, because we've had.
And that's why I'm asking the question.
I mean, look, as far as national titles, I don't think there's any way that anybody beats her, because was she have 5 of them? 7 of them? Seven of them? No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 7 of them. Yeah.
7,
so,
right?
Yeah.
7 out of 8.
Yeah. 7 out of 8. Yeah.
So, and I'm here to be talked out of this. And I honestly don't mean this in a negative way. It's just kind of the way the meet felt. The men's meet was like, they were both spectacular, let's be clear. But the men's meet, it was like surprise after surprise after surprise in what felt like very positive ways. And short of the obvious, Texas was the overwhelming favorite and they won the meet in a dominant fashion. The women's meet felt like anticlimactic disappointment after anticlimactic disappointment for the most part. Am I wrong?
So, well, I don't know about the verbiage there, but I mean, I think that obviously there were some things that went on that we didn't expect. I mean, like, I don't think like the big clash in the 400 became the big 3 eventually became the 1.5, right?
Yeah.
The big matchup in the 1500.
Yes.
Became hey, shout out to Harvard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Props to Harvard. Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Harvard. The big double by Britain became like the big mistake by the lake, basically. Right? It was like,
and to your point, Sir Lucius, I mean, we came into this meet already set up. It was set up for the stars to shine. It was set up to see things we'd never seen before, doubles that had never been attempted. We were preparing ourselves for getting our minds blown. And I think what we ended up seeing, we saw human beings. We saw people put into situations that perhaps they weren't ready for, whether it's health issues, whatever it was. I mean, we saw the bandaging on her shin, and when with 100 to go, I think everybody in the crowd was just like, wait a minute, like, how is Rashida that close to her at this point? We've been so used all year to seeing, 150 to go. It's over. Just call it a day. Just get ready to get
started. None of them, of the big 3, not one of them ran the race mile they were instructed to run.
I know.
They were out in 24-1, which makes Rashida's run even more impressive.
Exactly. Yes.
She was out in 24-1 and she came back in 25-1.
Ooh.
Right.
Right. And that's like to my point, right? Adeleke was fantastic. Meet record, facility record, PB.
Yeah.
So bravo to Adeleke. But what was expected, right, is Britain going to run 48? Is she going to challenge the American record? And a real race behind that.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, Adeleke won that pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then it was Arkansas.
And I'll be honest with you, I never thought anybody was running 48 seconds. Never crossed my mind.
But the majority of the world did.
Yeah.
You know
see, and again, that's where people, the talking heads, I call them, the Twitter twits, whatever you want to call them, the Instagram idiots, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Right?
Here's what's clear. In my opinion, here's what's clear. The way the meet is set up, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to do it early. And I'm talking the first day.
Yeah.
It is almost impossible. And I'm not even talking about, like, even if that was all that she did, like the way the meet is set up, what have we seen? We've seen the really incredible times on the qualifying days.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You get to that final day, it's a little more. It's very hard for you to run free.
The emotional energy just
exactly.
Okay, and so I'm going to say this, and if somebody makes me a meme, I'm okay. I'm good. Okay. See, Anna Hall started this mess. Okay,
sure,
she did. Right.
Who would deny
but at the
that?
end of the day, like, you have to understand what Anna did wasn't what Britain was trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, when Anna came to me with this idea,
yeah,
I was like, Anna, no, like, there's no way. But this is what she said to me. She said, this works because as long as I do my job, I'm going to be so far ahead in the multi, I can run 2:30 and win the multi.
Right.
That's funny.
Right. So that's why it worked. Okay. Now, fast forward a year, I can't be the only person that noticed how many women PR'd in the 400 hurdle final because they knew there was blood in the water.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what it was.
Yep.
Exactly. They're all like, oh, I can win now.
Yep.
Right.
That's right.
Right. So, and they're like, and every coach was like, don't you dare let her run 54 seconds and win this race.
That's right.
Right.
Because
my girl got screwed out of being in the final, but she would have got that same speech if she was.
Yeah, listen. Can we pause and just say the officiating was bad across the board?
Okay, so I was going to save this for later, but since you brought it up, let me just say this, right? Okay, so the officiating, when we're putting people into finals, when we're making mistakes of counting jumps that were fouls, when we're giving a young lady credit for a 2-meter personal best in a throwing event, when everybody knows it wasn't that, okay? Right. When we're talking about doing redos, when we're having a young lady who's accused of not coming to set, but they just can't realize that she's just lower than everybody else. Okay, it was just bad. Okay, and there were other things going on outside of the event. Okay, I am not going to get at the University of Texas because it's not their meet, right? But there were some things going on in the warm up area in terms of insects that were atrocious. On the final day, there are big puddles of water in the middle of the warm up track, which was a wonderful track they put down back there, right? So I don't know I don't remember it raining, but whatever it was big puddles of water back there, and nobody made an effort to get it up. So here's the crazy thing. Chris Johnson had his manager get the water up. Why should an Arkansas manager be cleaning up the warm-up area so people can warm up? Okay? Well, so that's my issue. Like, okay, you want to put this meet on, but you don't want to give it think about the incredible things we've talked about already.
Yeah.
But yet the NCAA dropped the ball completely, in my opinion, because they did not do their due diligence in making sure the student athlete experience was great, because it was not outside of the track meet itself. The meet on the track.
This is the part where I don't think even our own governing body, even our own, the world that we're in, I do not believe that the NCAA understands that probably out of every, let's just say, let's talk about college football, baseball, whatever. There is no meet that is more impressive on a worldwide stage than the NCAA meet. I'm talking about NCAA sports in general. And those athletes deserve the best officiating.
Amen.
The best facilities, the best warm-up area. They deserve that. And that's the part that I don't think the NCAA is caught up to what the NCAA outdoor and indoor track meet is. Because I'll say across the board, and I've been coming to the meet at Texas multiple years, whatever. Something has changed. Something has definitely changed from an officiating standpoint, from a management standpoint. It's clear. And those of us that have been at Texas Relays for decades, we see it, we noticed it. And even at this meet, I mean, we're watching, anytime you're at a meet and you are cringing at people raking the pit, smoothing the pit.
Cringing.
It is shameful. This is the NCAA championships. Like, come on now. Safety issues, like, come on, let's not do this.
I've been saying this for years. This was blatantly obvious to me in 2019, the last time we were in Austin. What the spectators don't see, right? Those of us with the passes and we're in the back and we're dealing with athletes. What the spectators don't see is two words: unprofessional, and it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's literally dangerous under there. It's ultimately, this is literally a world-class event, proven by the athletes and the coaches. And the behind the scenes is JV at best. It's unbecoming of the championship. Now, I agree with Sir Lucius that it's the NCAA's responsibility, because it is, but magically, they don't seem to drop the ball that much when it's elsewhere. This particular place, it feels like they tolerate having the meet. They definitely
and this is what I'll tell you, and this will speak to your belief. I just think it's because it's the cathedral, because it's track town, because of the people that run those meets. It's those people that step up and make sure it's that. Texas doesn't have that structure.
No.
Right?
There you go.
They don't have that structure. But again, it's not Texas's responsibility.
No, it's not.
Right? And also, let's be realistic. The things that you were talking about, the JV things, will never happen in Eugene, Oregon.
No.
Never.
No.
Yeah. Never.
We got diverted. I feel like, but I want to say this because one, this involved us, and it's still the wildest thing I've seen. So in the women's long jump, here's what happened for all the people that were confused. In the first round of jumps, the young lady from Nebraska fouled her jump. It was obvious that she fouled the jump. It was so obvious that the officials raised the red flag. Somehow, some way, that jump got put into the competition as fair. So no one noticed it when they sent the other 12 ladies out, and we move on to the finals. So now the competition is over. Our young lady was in 8th place, All-American. And people around us are like, Coach, the jump that beat her is that jump from the first round. I'm like, that's not right. There's no way that's right. We looked it up. Sure the hell was. So we filed a protest to get that jump tossed because that jump was a foul.
Yeah.
Won the protest, which is wild because I've almost never seen that happen. And then the officials come to realize how badly they screwed up, because none of the other jumps from that young lady would have put her into the final. So now the Texas A&M girl got screwed out of her final 3 jumps because she
my
never
gosh.
got to jump. And they start this chaotic 2-3 hour conversation about how to fix it. They first started out talking about, well, we're going to let the A&M girl come back in the morning and jump again. Like, no, you're not. That's not going to happen. And then it was, well, we'll let all of them come back and redo the jumps. We're like, absolutely not. Like, what are you talking about?
So
it was insane.
So Clyde, if you know as the NCAA that there is no long jump or triple jump competition that is run like the NCAA meet, how are you putting people into those situations, dual runways going at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
You better make sure that every single jump that's put in there has to be correct, because you're messing with 24 jumpers.
Bro, at one point they almost at one point they were about to move the women all to run to one runway.
Oh my gosh.
For the final. We're like, excuse me, that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
So did you guys happen to see who was I don't want to call it this, but I don't know how else to say it because I can't think of the word. Who was the security guard on that side doing the jumps?
Yes.
Who was it?
It was Boo.
Oh,
they had Boo out there. They had Boo out there as like, I don't even know what his role was because he wasn't
like he was the muscle. He was the muscle. He was like
he was one of the meet referees. Him, Jerry Clayton, Ed Gorman, that they were all part of the meet management crew.
You could see,
and I figured as much.
Ready to explode on many occasions.
Oh, very much so. I spent a good 20 minutes watching it happen, and I was like, "That's torture." I caught him watching the jumps. I don't remember what competition it was, and you could see the wheels just like this, and he was watching the officials, and the wheels are doing this. Then he turns around and looks at the pole vault, and he's got the Boo face on there, and I was like, "Man, that looks like a rough life right now."
So, right 45 minutes before the long jump's supposed to start, straight up headwind.
Oh, yeah.
And we're all, as coaches, we're in the coaches box and we're all looking at each other like, there are 2 very viable pits right down there. And so, we're all trying to be cordial. We're all, staying in our lane. And then eventually, we get one of the officials over. We explain our case. He's like, well, because of the storm that rolled through, the winds are a bit wonky, but we think that it's going to change later on. And it didn't. I mean, I'd say the majority of jumps in the final were into headwinds. As athletes, I mean, you're supposed to understand everybody has to deal with it, but there is a reason why you have the NCAA meet at a place that has 2 pits in either direction. You can go pole vault in either direction. Like, there is a reason why. There's a reason why
what it's
you can run the opposite way if you want to. Like, these are things that, we kind of have to make these decisions as professionals. How are we benefiting our athletes the most, And that was, it was obvious some athletes actually got thrown off by the headwind.
Yeah.
The performances by and large were not the greatest.
Well, you know what? The winds screwed up a lot of things on Saturday on the women's side, because the wind robbed us of a NCAA
record in the women's 100
hurdles and in the women's 100.
Mm-hmm.
And those are 2 records that me personally, I was like, I'm a fan by that time of the day at the meet. I'm sitting in the stands to watch those records go. Phenomenal races by the ladies. Akira Nugent.
Oh, unbelievable.
And obviously Juju 100. But yeah, the winds jacked those up. We wanted those.
So what was our highlight of the women's meet then?
For me, it was the 4x1.
4x1. Sharks don't retire.
I mean, it's just kind of hard to bet against that, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's because it's like it's either that or Juju's double. But honestly, the 4x1 was just otherworldly. Because I keep saying this, it's one thing to run that fast, but with Juju running first, that literally means they were running by themselves.
Yep.
I just, for me, it was a Texas women's performance as a whole.
As a whole.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Also want to give a shout out to Miss Rose from LSU in the 800.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, great job by her. Van Klinken.
Yes,
Mhm.
Van Klinken, yes.
Blue strikes again, you know, so and again and again and again. I mean, yeah, you know. Yeah, and I don't think there was how many people really saw Oregon getting the trophy? On the women's side.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And most of that was blue.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
I think the best race of the women's day was the 100-meter hurdles, and on paper it was supposed to be. You know, we all picked that one wrong. We all had Aaliyah Armstrong winning it.
Yeah, we had it switched.
And the funny thing about that is, indoors, Akira Nugent executed the best under that pressure, got the NCAA record, and won the race. Took it away from, obviously, Masai Russell. Masai Russell hit hurdle 2 in the prelims, came back in the finals and hit hurdle 2 again.
Mm.
But she was a demon after hurdle 2.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to know what she was capable of running if she didn't hit hurdle. Because
no, she was. Because she got close.
She
was rolling. Yeah, she was.
Wait, I forgot to do the bonuses. I just looked at my cheat sheet.
It's not gonna let y'all come back, but give me more.
No, but it's entertaining because I just read them. Okay.
But
so
I was
first
I was
bonus.
waiting to hear about these.
I forgot it. First bonus was what was the college record to be broken? Sharks, you said the women's 4x1. Clyde, you said the men's 4x4. I said men's pole vault, and then Governor, you said women's 400 hurdles.
Well,
that aged well. That aged well.
One, I feel like since my record got broke twice, I should get double points for that.
So did mine.
All right.
For sure.
So
yours didn't get broke twice.
It didn't get broke twice. It got broke
yours
once.
Yours didn't get broke twice
in the final. Yeah.
Yours didn't get broke twice.
I said, oh yeah, you're right.
Now, but
they ran ridiculously fast.
I'm talking to Clyde. Clyde's didn't get broke twice either.
Both teams broke the record at the same time. So the old record got broke twice.
No. The old record,
unfortunately for you,
the whole record was 76. They ran 78. The record was broken.
Okay. Touche, sir. My bad.
Pump your brakes a little bit now.
All right. There was another bonus.
It makes me,
Oh my gosh. The big bonus was what was the outrageous thing from the weekend? Sharks, you said Britain's 48 in the 4 hurdles or Kyle's deck. Clyde, you said Texas women losing the championship. I said the men's triple jump. Governor, you said men's triple jump as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't consider those, the men's triple jump, we didn't consider those to be outlandish situations because everybody knew that was going to happen.
Yes, I was castigated quite a bit. I didn't quite go.
But
Chewy
brings up with these bonus situations. Chewy brings up an interesting question, and since I'm literally wearing the petty crown, I will ask the interesting question. What was the biggest, like, wow, really, of the meet? Was it the men's pole vault? Was it Caitlin Tui? Like, what was it?
Aiden Owens not making the final in men's 400 hurdles.
Right? Like, is it that?
I mean, okay, so for me, because men's pole vault was huge for me. Like, obviously, I pay closer attention to it now than I did before. But even the women's pole vault did not pan out the way it was, quote unquote, supposed to.
Yeah, there's nobody on the planet that saw Arkansas scoring 0 points in the women's pole vault. Nobody.
0 points.
No way.
I would like to know the last time that's happened.
Exactly. Same here.
Yeah.
I was totally shocked.
That was shocking. Yeah, that's shocking.
Yeah. There was a lot of things that happened on the women's side and on the men's side. The men's side, Branson from Stephen S. Austin, no hiding. Zach Bradford, yeah, completely pooping the bed, and not that I don't know that I've ever seen him vault so low this year. You know, Sandre not doing well.
Which is your one? Because
I think it's men's, because Simon no heighted and Sandre I think cleared 540, and that was, I literally couldn't. I was so confused. That's how bad, not bad, but like,
were the winds bad or something?
It wasn't horrible. I've seen it worse at Longhorn Invite and at Texas Relays. But the whole mojo was just weird.
Yeah.
Just weird.
It was down
kind of like the long jump.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So Governor, what would be yours? Because I feel like I agree with EP, but I want to know why he said it before I agree.
Well, let's hear the governor's answer.
No.
All right. No, we got to hear yours first. Governor, we got to hear yours first.
Wow. I mean, I really, I mean, in terms of like, from my vantage point, like I actually thought the 4 hurdles would have been faster.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but what won it? 49 flat?
No.
What won it? So 48 low won it.
Yeah.
Right? 48-12 won it. That's a collegiate leader. How fast?
I'm talking about the women's 4 hurdles.
Why did you think that was going to be faster? I'm disappointed in you, right? At this very second, I'm very disappointed.
No.
Remember, he picked Britain to break the collegiate record.
That's
it. I was disappointed in him when he said that.
Yes.
We all agree.
Allow me to go through the rest of my stupiddom, right? I still was like shocked. It was still shocking that we didn't see any like true fireworks on either side. Like that was the part.
Well, like on the men's side, like I said, dude ran 48-12.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
That's very impressive.
And then on the women's side, I mean, Miss Sutherland was spectacular.
She was.
I mean,
right?
She did what she had to do. She won the race.
Yeah.
She took it by the scruff of the neck.
Sir Lucius, are you going to give us an answer?
And what's your question, sir?
The most, like, pick whatever word you want, but the
biggest bag fumbled.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. The biggest bag fumbled. That's a good way.
I'm not answering that question.
I didn't think that he would.
I will answer the question. The thing that was the most surprising thing I saw in the meet that wow, I can't believe that happened, was Aiden not making the 400 hurdle final.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, let's be realistic. He's a supreme athlete. They do a great. I mean, I think Doug Case is a great coach, and obviously Travis Geppert is also. And I mean, unless he was sick or hurt, there's just no way I saw him not making the final.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I thought it was a toss-up between him and Caleb Dean, because they both went. They were 48-3 and 48-4, out in Sacramento. But I mean, hey.
So I'm gonna amend it. Mine was Terrence Jones making 100 final by far.
There's absolutely
by far. Yes.
Okay, so EP, why is it Aiden?
For me, it's Aiden because when you make that bold of a plan and a move, right? I'm not going to do my best event, the event that we pretty much know I'm going to be no worse than 6 points, because I'm going to run the 400 hurdles, and everything that you've done up to it says that you're going to be in the mix in the final. As Sir Lucius said, I just thought the floor was too high for him to not make the final.
Mm-hmm.
If you told me he wasn't going to win, like, sure, I'll buy that, right? Even if you told me he was going to be like 5th, like, I'm like, okay, things happen in the race, but you would have got every penny I've ever seen if you'd have bet me he wasn't going to make the final and he didn't fall.
Didn't make the final, yeah.
right? He didn't make the final and he didn't fall. Like, he just didn't make it. And I'm telling you right now, you couldn't have convinced me he was going to run slow enough to not make the final.
And so to me, I agree with you 100%. To me, the reason that's the biggest deal in the the negative light or whatever is because you can absolutely make a case that that specific thing
cost him the
title.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so
absolutely. Because some of the other things that went bad for them were just like normal things. Like, there was hope for the second and third triple jumper. None of those guys were alive, right? Mm-hmm. The second guy in the shot put long shot to score, The other thing I think that probably cost him a little bit was the second guy in the discus. I think people thought he would score some points, but I mean, none of those things are shocking. Aiden not scoring, not making the final in the 400 hurdles is shocking.
That was shocking.
Hugely deflating as well.
Yeah.
All right. So wrapping up that excitement, we'll do a quick, due to time, we have gone a little bit longer. So I will keep Would You Rather just to me. And
wait, we're skipping the Bowerman?
We can't. We were out of time. Mm-hmm. We'll do it next
time. Governor, you are up for Would You Rather. I think these are fun. I feel I don't know. Anyways. All right. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Okay. Would you rather use a flip phone or an Android?
Listen, the question was so petty that wins.
Petty appropriate. Approved.
So you're literally asking if I would rather use a smartphone or a prehistoric dinosaur.
Clap, clap.
Look.
I'll go with the flip. I will go with the smartphone.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you rather wear a headband or sunglasses?
Sunglasses.
Would you rather leave Would you rather leave an email unread and blue, or red but not really red? Red meaning like reading it, not red like the color.
So I'm getting these like I'm not understanding what it means. Like, hey, coach, why are you leaving me on red? I'm like, what? what are you talking about? I'm trying to understand.
We'll have a debriefing after then. We'll have a debriefing.
That's funny.
Right. Would you rather have In-N-Out or Five Guys?
Huh. I will only eat In-N-Out on the West Coast.
Got it.
I'll eat Five Guys anywhere.
Would you rather eat a cupcake or a cookie?
What is this?
I'm going cupcake.
Okay. Last one. Would you rather participate in an adult softball league or an adult pickleball league?
Softball. Softball. I mean, I've watched. Have you guys watched like pro pickleball?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It is.
Bring it.
Level, man.
All right.
Hard hockey player out there.
Seriously. Protection. So heartbeat props. Let's give some more people, because we already gave a few flowers or roses before. But who do you want to give shouts out to or recognize? I go, because I already forgot about them today earlier. TCU baseball is on their way, if not already there. They should be already there, to Omaha to start the College World Series this weekend. So go Frogs.
On that note, I will give heartbeat props to the University of Texas baseball team. I don't know if any of you guys saw how they missed out on their chance to go.
That's so brutal.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Did you see it, Clyde? Ball got lost in the lights. Oh my God.
They got done in by time of day.
Unbelievable. Heartbeat
Gotta
props.
be better than that. I'm just kidding.
Heartbeat.
You know what? Go ahead.
Props to the University of Oregon and the Cathedral. You were missed. Can't wait to see you. We will be back.
Couple weeks.
Oh my
Permanently.
Somebody hurry up and build Clyde a stadium. Let's get this done, man. Let's get it done.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
You know, this is probably a pretty good segue off of that. I'm always torn about what will be best for track and field, but the more time I spend in baseball, the more I realize that it might actually be really, really, really beneficial for us to have the national championship in the same place every year. I really wish it wouldn't be on a college, on a contending college's campus, which is where Omaha does it best, right? Like, no offense to Creighton, but the national championship is in Omaha in baseball every year. And so every single school has Omaha challenges and road to Omaha and all that stuff. And it's pretty cool. So my heartbeat props goes out to 3 of my collegiate guys who will be participating in that complete chaos that is the baseball college World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. 2 frogs and 1 LSU tiger. Evidently, purple is indeed my favorite color.
There you go.
Go frogs.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Is something wrong with your arm? Are you okay?
You walked right into that one, homie. You walked right in.
No, I didn't walk in anything because clearly he acknowledged what I did, because it means something to him. He wouldn't open his mouth, would he?
No, not you. The EP walked right into that one.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, whatever.
So all my heartbeat props, to the NCAA coaches, the athletes, the families. Phenomenal season. I mean, after watching the NCAA indoor championships, we all thought, man, how can it get better? And we came outside and it did. And just, big props to them. And then also want to tell everybody that's got to continue this on for another 3 weeks. All the best as we prepare our youngins and some of our old heads we have on our campuses for the USA Championships. And I expect them to be at least half as spectacular as these championships.
Right. Primed.
No pressure.
Right?
Yeah, no pressure at all.
All right, y'all. Well, it's been fun. Hope we got some people some laughs. Sir Hal, I just remembered that you told us that we need microphones. Gentlemen, I'll talk to you about that when we get off today. But other than that, everyone have a great week. We'll see each other soon. Have fun. Be safe. Bye, guys.